Good afternoon, Abbotsford residents. I'm Mr. Pelican. I'm running for mayor of Abbotsford. The first thing we're going to do, is get the RCMP into Abbotsford. There's a lot of Abbotsford police officers are going to be let go. Investigators, Safety Standards Act. We're going to go through them like there's never been no before. These men were in organized crime. That's going to be dealt with in Abbotsford. Their faces are going to be all over social media of what position they held and what they were doing for Henry Braun. When Henry Braun tried to end my life in broad daylight, that meant right there and then, this mob leader was paying private police to cover up his land deals, his organized crime, and his criminal racket. That means them men were in cohorts with Henry Braun. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I want to show you something. When I ran in the mayor election, when Bruce ran, Eric Nivel ran, and Henry used Bill Flinton, first of all, to take Bruce Bamman's signs down. He used Gabriel, electoral officer, to walk on private property. I knew from Henry's son he was going to target me. The RCMP mission knew to tell me to put my signs well on private property, well in, under camera and documented. Henry used Gabriel, electoral officer, what wouldn't give me the by-election or the electoral list, and went out on private property and took my signs. Mike DeYoung ran in this election to try to be loaded in the federal Conservatives election to become the MP. Henry used every avenue of calling out the former John Van Doggen, George Perry, and everybody because he's in sweat mode to load Mike DeYoung because of the organized crime. He believed if he got Mike DeYoung in as the MP, he could cover what was coming down the pipe. Not going to happen, Henry. He believed Mike's position would halt criminal investigations because he knew I was lobbying for the RCMP. The more I cranked on the RCMP, the more Henry had to keep flushing. We need to get behind Mike. The more he used Vicky Hopes, then he had to do the ultimate thing. He ran an ad that the leaders of Abbotsford are in behind Mike DeYoung. He was sweating. Get him in. This is what all criminals do. They need to pay bigger people to get in to cover it. What are I doing? I'm on King Road. We're in the May long weekend. If you can see there, that is Mike DeYoung's signs nailed to telephone posts all down King Road, all over Abbotsford, everywhere. It's not been in the newspaper because Mike DeYoung's a part of the inner group with Henry Braun, so Vicky Hopes failed to mention that. Eric Nivel's the financial agent. He should be telling Mike. Mike should be facing massive fines by bylaws, and they didn't do nothing. Mike looks like he's running for mayor of Abbotsford. Look at Mike, he wants another shot. You Mike DeYoung going to be a voice for Abbotsford. He's going to be the mayor. The leaders are going to get behind Mike DeYoung. Mike DeYoung was a part of the inner group of covering Henry's hit and run. Mike DeYoung had preferential treatment when he threw an illegal party. He's got preferential treatment with his signs nailed to the city's boulevards and nailed to the BC Hydro telephone posts, and there's been no warnings. Bylaw hasn't infractured him. Bylaw under my mayorship would right now go out and pick up every sign, take a picture of it, and be sending Mike DeYoung a hefty bill from Abbotsford taxpayers in the hundreds of dollars. But don't worry, Mike DeYoung's running for mayor. He's running for mayor, and you can see it. Elect Mike DeYoung for mayor of Abbotsford. I'm running. Former Mike DeYoung leader. Mike DeYoung, former advisor. Mike DeYoung needs to become mayor. Is it not Simon Gibson that said Mike DeYoung owned apology from Pierre Poilievre? This doesn't deserve apology. It deserves what George Ferguson would say, a big cowboy boot right up his ass. And that city officials that were under Henry's son were doing this stuff. Bylaw, electoral office, and the list just went on. When I come as mayor, we're going to go in after books. We're going to go in after job sites. We're going to go in and make sure Abbotsford residents are proud of their mayor, and their mayor will stand up for them. Their mayor will be a voice for them, and their mayor will give them a fair, level praying ground. And assholes like that figured he's got connections in Victoria and he's a somebody, will be humiliated and be forced to move out of this town and not live here. Magna. bylaw. Abbotsford Police Chief is supposed to enforce bylaw, is failing to even go out and infraction these signs that are sitting on the sidewalk still, and half of them are knocked down. Mike Jong will be giving you a flyer this week. Henry needs Mike. He needs Mike to get in. Diverse has so much to do. This is the man that threw an illegal party on Bale Road at the height of the coronavirus to load Dave Sadu. This is the man that knows Dave Sadu helped Ross Siemens at UFB by blocking with Andy Sadu. And now his property on Tracy Road is going for fast development to bring agriculture cold storage when Abbotsford Growers is for sale, the old Abbey Growers. That way he can lessen his tax and everything. I told you, Mike, I want you to hear how this happened to you, Mike. I want you to hear from Mr. Pelican. This happened to you because shitbox Henry Braun took the law in his own hands and tried to end my life. Then used his connections and everything, and his loudmouth son told. There's a lot more coming down the pipe, Mike. Investigations of your jobs and your land and everything you know. Forensic audits. There's a lot more coming. Henry Braun brought this onto you. He brought it all onto you all. Sitting there and defending Henry is not the way it should be done. But your son for breaking the law, and that is true. As Abbotsford Mayor, the first thing I would be doing, Magna, pack your bags, you're out of here. Gabriel, pack your bags, you're out of here, and I'll be going after their bank accounts and seeing what they've been paid. I'm live, Abbotsford, British Columbia, through King Road, around the airport, they're everywhere. This is what Abbotsford's complaining all over Facebook about. And Ross Siemens working at his gas station.